Hello family, welcome back to the channel. So in today's tutorial I am going to be showing you how to make this cloud bag that has a scrunchy handle. If there's something you'd like to see, please stay tuned to your channel and let's go straight into the tutorial. Honestly, this bag has been trending for a very long time and I too have been looking forward to make it. Yes, it looks complicated, but I assure you that it is very simple. So guys, the measurement I am using is a measurement of an A4 paper and it is 12 by 8 inches. You can alter the measurement and make it smaller or bigger. So what I am doing right here now is I went up by um 3 inches on both sides like this. Then I also went up by this top end by half inches. So I'm going to make my slant to meet that 3 inches marking that I made. Then I'm going to use a free hand to just cuff the 3 inches to this other 3 inches. I just hope you understand what I just said. If you don't understand, please feel free to back forward. Is it back forward or reverse? This particular play so that you watch it and you see what I just explained. So after I went ahead and cut it, I'm just going to go ahead and fold it this way. Then I am going to trace out what I've cut on the other part as well. It's very simple. It's not hard. You just get 3 inches on both on the bottom for your curve, then on the top you get half inches and you just make your slant connected to the 3 inches. Then you just go ahead and cut out the slant like this, and then you go ahead and cut off the curve like this. It's simple. Yes, it's not hard, but like I said, if you don't get it, you feel free to just go ahead and watch it over again. So this is going to be serving as the main body of the bag. So this is serving as the main body of the bag. So now the next thing I went ahead and do is I went down by another 3 inches. So I'm just going to use my free hand to just make a curve like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So from the middle I went down by 3 inches. Then I'm just using my free hand. If you have a curve ruler, you can go ahead and do that and use it. Then I'll just cut it out like this. Then since I'm using a free hand, I have to just follow this principle that I'm doing like this. So on this channel we used to make beginner friendly tutorials so that even if you don't have all the materials to make bags, you can make bags in the simplest way as possible and they will come out beautiful. So after you cut it out, this is what it looks like. You see our bag shape is already out. So that is the main body. So I'm using this light shiny synthetic leather. It is very shiny and it is very light and it is very beautiful. So I like using this kind of leather for my project. The reason is because they are easy to get and they are also very beautiful. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I am going to trace out this pattern on the leather. So I'm going to be cutting out two, one for the front body and one for the back body. So you just use your pencil and just trace out what this pattern gently. Please make sure you don't make any mistake, because any mistake you make at this point will alter the will alter the shape of the bag, and you don't want that. I was done dragging the shape. I went ahead and added half inches to what I have drawn. This is not necessary. I am using it as a stitching allowance. It is not necessary. So if you know you don't want to add any stitching allowance, you could omit that, because the bag came out beautiful, yes, but too big because I added that half inch stitching allowance. So if you want to make yours a little bit smaller, you could omit the stitching allowance, or you could also reduce the measurement from the beginning. Then you will now add stitching allowance. I just hope you understand my English language. Sha. Anyway, so after you add your stitching allowance, then you just go ahead and cut out two bodies. You go ahead and cut out two bodies. So guys, after you were done cutting the two bodies, the next thing you're going to go ahead and do is to put your leather aside and start working on the leather that you are going to be using for the top plate. So this is just me measuring half of what I have, and I divided what I got by 5 because I want it to have 5 pleats. You can decide how many number of pleats you want, but I want you to have 5 pleats on both sides. That is 10 in total. So what I got, I divided it by 5. Then I went ahead and start measuring it at the side of the bag so that I'm going to get my 5 plates. So when I measure it from the side like this, I just went ahead and I am going to be marking it on a slant like this. I'm going to be marking it on a slant like this. So I'll just go ahead and mark it. Then when I am done marking it, I am just going to go ahead and cut it out. So when I cut it out, I am going to be using one side to cut out the second side so that it will be even, and when I'm spreading it wide on my leather, it is not going to, and when I'm pleating it, sorry, on my fabric, it is not going to one side is not going to be bigger than the other side. When I am cutting the paper, I'm not going to cut it all the way to the end. I'm just going to cut it and leave some space that will be enough so that when I spread it out, it will not fall off. So I am not cutting it all the way to the end. So I just hope you understand what I am saying. So this is just me trying to get my markings on the second half of the paper so that I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. So guys, after I was done cutting it out, this is what it looks like. You see, it is jagala jagala. So that is why you need to cut it and leave some at the bottom so that when you spread it like this, it will not unravel. Now I decided that the length I want the pleats to be, the total length I want the pleats to be is to be 20 inches. So you go ahead and cut out a fabric that is 20 inches long by, no, it's not a fabric, a paper that is 20 inches long by 8 inches. You know we are using 8 inches. So you will now use your tape to start taping it. So you know you've cut out the fabric already at 20 inches wide. So you now use your tape to hold this paper, to hold it so that when you spread it, you start from this end, spread it to this other end, making sure you make a notch in the middle that is going to be the middle part, so that one part will not be wider than the other part or longer than the other part. So this is what I mean. I just hope you understand what I'm saying. So when you are done, this is what you should get. So I cut it out on fold. So you are going to be cutting your fabric on fold like this. So I'm going to go ahead and fold my fabric like this and then put it. So this side is going to be the one that I'm going to be cutting on fold. Then I'm going to trace it out. I'll trace it out with my pencil, and I'll add half-inches stitching allowance. Because I added half-inches stitching allowance to the previous one, that's the same reason why I'm going to be adding half-inches stitching allowance to this one. So if you did not add half-inches stitching allowance to your own, you can omit this half-inches stitching allowance. So I will just add the half-inches and go ahead and cut it out. So that is basically everything about the pattern drafting of this bag, and that is even the hardest part of this bag sef. So when I am done, the next thing you're going to go ahead and do is to get the two bodies, both the pleated ones, the one that you're going to be pleating and the one that you're going to be pleating on. So you go ahead and get the middle, you notch the middle. You know you want it to have 5 pleats already. So you start your pleating from the middle. You pleat it 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You get it? Yeah, it's very simple. So you pleat it and you go ahead and top stitch the bottom so that it will not move around. So we go ahead, we pleat our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is how it is, and we go ahead and do the same thing for the second one. So the next thing you're going to go ahead and do now is to work on the side of the bag. So I'm using 3 inches for the side of the bag. I go ahead and cut it off camera, and this is the zip. So you just go ahead and put your zipper. If you want to put lining, this is the point where you put the lining. You put the lining after the zipper, but I did not put lining. So I went ahead and sew it, and I top stitch it. And I think it's neat. You don't have to use all the materials in this world to get your work done. So this is the piping belt. In order to give the bag structure and to make it stand out and the shape to come out well, I decided to put a piping belt, and this is what it looks like when you put your piping belt. Like I said, you don't have to use all the fabrics in this world to get your work done. So I shape my, what's it called? My side 1 inches on the top. Then I'm just going to go ahead and sew it to the side of the bag. So you make your notch in the middle. I like starting my work from the middle so that even if the leather they stretch, it no go spoil my work. So you sew them both together, and the length of the handle that I am using is I am using a belt for the handle. So I cut it out at 12 inches. You can cut it out longer than that or shorter than that. So I'll go ahead and turn my bag inside out like this. Now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to overlay. The belt I want to use for the handle. Is to overlay it. So you take your time, bring out the bag inside out. Make sure you look whether there's any place I did not stitch. If you did not stitch, you go and stitch it again. But mine was superb. Mine came out well. So now you bring the handle, and then you are going to put your zipper first because you need to close it. So you put your zipper then first. Then you overlay the handle like this, and you just go ahead and stitch it. Please make sure you are stitching on the zipper. Then you now cover it like this so that it will be neat a bit. So you just sew one side first. You're sewing one side first. So when you stitch it, this is what it looks like. So now the next thing you're going to go ahead and do now is to bring out the fabric. I have already sewn this one off camera. I'm just poking it inside. The measurement is I think 25 inches or 20 inches. I later just put it inside. You're making a scrunchy handle, and I think I've made a scrunchy handle already on the channel. So you just go ahead and be pushing it inside, pushing it inside, pushing it inside, pushing it inside till it's in comma side on the other side. So when you are done, this is what it looks like. You arrange it nicely, then you go ahead and put this other side like this, then you sew it, and that is everything about this bag. I told you it is very, very simple. You see it? So you just go ahead and drag the handle to cover that rough edge, and then you adjust it, and finish. The only hard part of this bag is the pattern drafting part, and if you could master the pattern drafting part, I think you're good to go. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. See you guys in my next tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you've not, and see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye for now.